Have you ever wondered why the people closest to you don't support you when you start something new, like launching a business, switching careers, or even just like chasing your dreams? It's easy to say they're jealous. It's easy to say that they're haters. But more often than not, it's deeper than that. It's psychological, especially if you come from the same background, the same struggle, the same limitations. That's not just inspiring to people, that can be very triggering because now you're a mirror and you reflect back what they could have done had they made different choices. And that's uncomfortable for most people. You become a reminder of the version of themselves that they abandoned. The version that wanted more but didn't feel brave enough to go after it, that didn't feel supported, that didn't believe that they were worthy. And instead of dealing with it directly, people cope in subtle ways. This is where cognitive dissonance comes in. That's the internal conflict someone feels when their current reality is challenged by a new truth. Maybe they've been telling themselves for years that people like you or people from your environment don't make it, that success is not realistic, that visibility is for other people, not for you, not for them. And now you're proof that these beliefs were not facts. They're just their fears. And now they got to either face that or reject you. So instead of clapping for you, they fall silent. Instead of supporting you, they become distant. Or worse, they become what many people call monitoring spirits. They watch everything you post, every move you make, never like, never engage, never share. And no, this does not mean that everyone who watches you and who doesn't engage is secretly hating. Okay, some people just consume content passively. That's normal. But when it's someone close to you, someone who used to show love, someone who used to engage, who used to be vocal, and now they're silent while still watching, that is not random. That's avoidance, and that's discomfort showing up as distance. Because deep down, it's not just that they don't like what you do, it's that they don't like what it brings up in them. When people come from the same starting point as you, your growth makes it harder for them to hide behind excuses. It exposes the fact that they had the same tools, the same environment, maybe even more resources than you had, and they still chose comfort. They still chose fear. They still chose to shrink themselves and play small. Not everyone is going to applaud your evolution, especially when your evolution highlights their stagnation. But your path is not meant to be validated by people who are still avoiding their own growth. The support you're looking for may not come from the people that you started with, but it will come. Your audience, your tribe, your aligned connections, they'll find you. And when they do, it'll make sense why the people closest to you had to fall away. Not because they were bad people, but because they weren't ready to face themselves. And your light made it impossible not to. If you're not getting the support that you expected, don't let it get to you, okay? Some people are fighting internal battles that have absolutely nothing to do with you. You're just a trigger. You're not the cause. A secure, confident person has no problem showing love to someone who's rising, okay? But not everyone is secure. Not everyone is healed. Not everyone is capable. And that's not your responsibility to fix or to shrink yourself for. So keep going, keep showing up, keep being proud of what you're building. The right people will never be threatened by your growth. They'll celebrate it. Let them find you, okay?
Hey ladies, I just uploaded a video about this topic previously, and it's so true. When you have surpassed someone's expectations of you and you are no longer in a place that they are comfortable with you being in, suddenly they don't want to help you anymore. And it's so crazy because I recently got a comment from one of our subscribers, and I wish I would have screenshotted it before, but it was a couple of days ago before I had even spoken on this topic. And she spoke about how her mother was her biggest supporter when she was studying to become something in the medical field. I think she was either trying to become a nurse or a doctor or something. And she said that her mom and her have always had a really great relationship. She's been always very supportive of her, wanted her to succeed, wanted her to do well. She said recently when she was taking her tests and passed her tests or her certification, something like that, to begin her medical career, her mom suddenly kind of switched completely. She's not the same person. She said that she is not supportive of her. The energy is off. She treats her a little bit differently, standoffish type of energy. And it's just like, wow. It's so crazy how your biggest supporters turn into your biggest haters because you surpass levels that they were not comfortable with. See, when people are close to you and they get a glimpse into your life, where you're going, they have an idea of what your goals are and dreams are, because they are so invested in you instead of being invested in themselves, they start to put imaginary limitations on how far you can go or how far they're comfortable with you going subconsciously. And this is why, ladies, whenever you have a friend who you fall out with after you become successful, or a partner who just can't be around you once you start to get your shine, or a parent or a family member who suddenly stops supporting you once you surpass a certain area in your life, it's because they were putting limitations on how far you could go. And because they were comfortable with where you were, they were never expecting you to surpass that. So in this girl's instance, what the example I just gave you guys, her own mother pulled back love and connection and support once she reached a certain level. And how heartbreaking is that? That you go your whole life thinking that your parent loves you dearly, loves you unconditionally, until you wake up one day and God forbid you pass your medical exams to become a doctor or a nurse, and now that parent who you thought loved you so much doesn't fuck with you like that anymore. That's hurtful. That's so hurtful. Because you went your whole life thinking that because this person was your parent, that meant that they were exempt from being jealous of you. As a grown adult, that is a different type of pain, and I don't wish that on anyone. And you're not expecting it. Because again, you've grown up all your life into your adulthood with this person in your corner who's supposed to be your blood, who's supposed to be your biggest supporter, and then all of a sudden they pull back their support and love because you've surpassed their subconscious mind's limits of where you were supposed to go. And this is why, ladies, it's so important to validate self. Because if you are the type of person that is constantly seeking out other people's validation, family, friends, a man, you are never going to be satisfied because you're going to always be looking for someone to pat you on the back, tell you you're doing good, and if they don't, your world comes crashing down. Unfortunately, we cannot control others, we can only control ourselves. Therefore, we should not be putting that type of power in other people's hands to have over us. Something you have to understand about people also is that people look at life through their lens. That's why I'm not big on taking advice from people unless they are really, really, really well versed in what I'm asking them about, and if I trust their judgment. Not everyone has killer discernment and judgment, and not everyone can be trusted with giving you advice. I don't look to other people to tell me what they think I should be doing, because a lot of times these people are limited in their own lives. These people have limitations that they've placed on themselves. So the way they look at the world is through a limited lens. They've put stoppages on how far they can go. They've put blocks on the limits and the places that they're able to reach. So when you come to them for advice, or if you ask them, hey, what do you think I should do? They're going to only speak from the lens that they can see through. And can you really blame them? The issue is when you get people who look through their lens, but they also want to project that lens. They want to make you believe that that's true for you as well. Because that was their reality. They think that's how your life is going to turn out. They think that's how you're supposed to go about your life, or what's going to happen for you. They're not God, and they don't know the outcomes of what's to come for you. Where it gets sinister is they're hoping that if they project on you in a negative way, they can plant seeds of doubt. They can evoke feelings of fear in you, because those are very low vibrational feelings that will get you to stop going after what you're trying to get after. See, I'm okay with losing people because I don't care to stay within the limits and the confines that people try to put up for me. And because I've gone through this my entire life, I can smell it coming on people. I know when I'm about to step into my next level, people stop talking to me. People fall off. I stop hearing from certain people. There's no longer support. People are avoiding me. They're avoiding communication with me. They're avoiding socializing with me. You know what I'm saying? I pick up on the signs, and I know it's because I'm either currently in a space that makes them uncomfortable, or they can tell that I'm entering a space soon that is beyond what they thought I could reach. And, ladies, I'm a big believer in transmuting energy and turning things that were meant for bad into your good, because the Bible talks about that. So if you ever run into a person who begins to treat you differently or poorly because you decided to take your life to another level, because you are deciding to act on your blessings, act on your gifts, and do something amazing with your life, which is uncomfortable for them, my advice to you would be to turn whatever negative energy they're sending you into positive energy and start to think about it in a positive way. People wouldn't be treating you like that if you weren't going somewhere great. Okay? When I left my hometown, I spoke about this in my last video, I had a lot of falling outs with people. People stopped talking to me. People started showing their ass, treating me all types of crazy. And it was because I was stepping into a timeline that was so far removed from the timeline I was in with those people, where we were partying and drinking and smoking and doing this and doing that and seeking male validation and not being focused and playing around and being in la la land. I was not trying to be on that forever. And unfortunately, when you are growing up and becoming, you run into people who you think are going to be around forever, but they're only there for a season. And they show you that they're only there for a season when they start to treat you weird, when you start to level up your life. And that's not your fault. That's not for you to figure out or solve or crack a code. It's not a mystery. It's you have surpassed or are currently surpassing the threshold that they put over your life. And shame on them for doing that, because they're not God and they can't determine how far you go in life. But also take that energy and turn it into positive. If they put that much effort into putting limitations on your life, it's because they see that you're about to go somewhere big. Which means you need to start actualizing, self-actualizing, becoming. Start walking in that energy of the person who they're treating you like. Because guess what? They're so focused on you, they're treating you like a celebrity. You know, they do that to celebrities. Oh, how many records will she put out this month? Or how many albums will she be able to put out this year? What will she have to do to be able to get a Grammy? Oh, I think she'll only be able to do 2 songs this month. Oh, I think she'll only be able to put out 1 album this year. You know, people spectate on celebrities' lives. A lot of you guys have celebrity energy. And I think I'm going to make a video on this because it needs to be talked about, because I walk with that energy as well. And how people have treated me has always resonated that. They want to copy me. They want to imitate me. They want to know who I'm with. Then when they find out who my partner is, they want to be with my partner. They don't like what I do, but they go behind my back and do the same things. It's obsessive. And so if people treat you like a celebrity and they put limitations on your life and they try to spectate how far they think you will go or how successful they think you'll be able to be, that tells me that you walk with celebrity energy and you're walking with an anointing. Because someone who's boring, has nothing going for themselves, and isn't that intriguing or interesting, doesn't have a light, will not experience these things, which is why I get a lot of people who troll on this channel and like to come over here and try to like persuade me to stop talking about what I'm talking about. If it doesn't resonate, it's not for you and you don't belong here. We're going off of how you guys treat us. If you didn't treat us like we were special, we wouldn't think we were. That's just common sense. So if you're treating me that way, it's because I clearly and obviously have something that you want, something that you're afraid will materialize and launch me to my next level, something that you're threatened by. And so, ladies, this is what I will leave you with. Capitalize off of people doing these things to you. If people put limitations on you, if they like to spectate your life, if they like to be nosy and be in your business, start walking in that energy of, I know that I'm going to a bigger and better place soon. Because people wouldn't be on my DIC you know what if I wasn't actually going places and if I wasn't already manifesting success. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.